In today's experiment, we are going to test different foods, 3 different foods, to determine how much energy is released from each of those foods. We're going to test popcorn, saltine crackers, and peanuts. In the end, we're going to look at the carbohydrate and lipid composition of each of these food items and try to draw some conclusions about what those have to do with how much energy is released from the foods. So to test how much energy is released from the foods, we have this set up here. We are going to burn the foods underneath a test tube that is filled with water. And we're going to measure the change in temperature of the water from before we burn the food to after. And then after some calculations, that is going to help us determine how much energy was actually in each of these food items. So we're going to start with the popcorn first. I have weighed out a sample of popcorn here, and our popcorn weighed about 1.07 grams. I'm going to set up this little tray here and carefully try to place the popcorn on the tray. My tray is just made of paper clips, and they are attached to on top of a cork. So our initial temperature for all of these is 23 degrees. The water has just been sitting at room temperature. So that is the initial starting temperature of our water. So we are going to ignite our popcorn here. It is cheddar cheese popcorn, just so you know. I'm gonna move this up. So if you make some observations here, you can see that the flame is quite tall for our popcorn. And now it's going back down. Popcorn is burning out here. It's a tall flame, but it did not last for a very, very long time. And I'm going to start checking out our temperature here to see what kind of temperature change we have. We're starting out at 23 degrees Celsius. And we're going to look to see what the highest is for our popcorn. We're almost at 40 right now. Still going. Just hit 41. $42. Our popcorn is officially burnt out. $42, starting to come back down now already. So 42 degrees is the highest temperature that was reached by our popcorn. And then we have to take the mass of this again. So let me record 42 degrees Celsius. And then we have to take the mass of our popcorn. So we're going to carefully take what's left of the popcorn. Go. And I'm going to take the mass of it. So there are 0.28 grams of our popcorn left, and we're going to need these for some calculations after. I'm going to get a new test tube because the water in this one is quite warm right now. So I'm going to dump that out. Put the test tube to the side. Get a clean test tube. and some fresh water. Always using the same amount of water as well to keep that constant so that it's the same amount of water that is heated. We have 15 milliliters of water every time. Our next food is going to be the saltine cracker. And I have pre-weighed out a piece of the saltine cracker. It is about 1.08 grams. We try to keep them all about the same weight. So yeah, maybe, nope. Let's try putting the saltine on this instead. Yep. I think this works better. Saltine. There we go. Hopefully it stays lit. There we go. Saltine does not want to cooperate here. Let's see if we can get the rest of that to burn. There we go. Start recording the temperature change. This is going to go out pretty quickly here. There we go. So if you notice, it's a quick burn once it actually ignites. It takes a while to get it going, but it burns out very quickly. So our temperature right now is actually only 31. Let's see if it goes up anymore. $32. $32 is our peak temperature here for the saltine. And then we're going to take the mass of our cracker as well over here. So the saltine cracker is now 0.30 grams, and it went up to 32 degrees Celsius. Okay, one more food item is the peanuts. So let me undo this, change my water, back to my cold water, get a new test tube. Again, we use the same amount of water every time. 15 milliliters. And the peanuts, let's see, we'll go back to our little tray here. Balance that out. All right, so our last one, our peanuts initially weighed 1.02 grams. Tell if both of them are lit. I think so, yes. So again, make some observations about the burning of the food. There's quite a difference between what we've seen so far with the crackers and the popcorn. This other peanut is not really well lit, so I'm going to try to, there we go. Both of them are now lit. The flame is much lower. It's very stable, if you observe. It's not really flickering very much. And I know you can't see it very well, but I can actually see the oils that are in the peanuts almost boiling and bubbling out of the peanut in front of it, in front of the flame as it moves. Also make note of the length of time that this is burning for compared to the other foods. There is a significant difference in that as well. And if you notice as well, there's some condensation forming at the top of the test tube from the water being heated inside there. So not an impressive flame, but certainly longer lasting than our other ones. And due to that condensation, which we did not have in previous ones, I would suspect that this is going to be hotter than the rest of them. I can tell you that we're already past 50 degrees right now. We're almost at 60 degrees right now. And those peanuts are still burning. We are past 60 degrees right now for the temperature of this water. So think about the way these foods burned, how much energy is being released by them. And I also want you to think about what these foods are actually composed of. Are they mostly made of carbohydrates? Are they mostly made of lipids? Are they a combination of the two? We're at 65 degrees right now. How long did it burn for? How high up did the flame go? These are all indicators as to which food is releasing more energy. We are almost at 70 degrees for the temperature of the water. And the peanuts are still burning. I can actually feel the heat up here on my hand. It's very hot. We're at 70 degrees right now for the water temperature. Take that out for a second. It's very hot. And there's bubbles forming inside. This water is getting very close to hot enough to boil. And we're just about burnt out here. Let's see where we're at. There we go. So we're at 71 degrees right now. And that is our peak, is 71 degrees for the peanuts. And I'm going to take the mass of what's left of these. We have 0.39 and 70 degrees Celsius is our temperature change. So just based on that, without doing the calculations, what can you hypothesize or say about these food items and how much energy they're giving off? If they're giving off a lot of heat, heat is a form of energy, and that is going to correlate when we do the calculations to how much energy is released by these different foods. So here is our final data that we've collected. We have quite a range of temperature changes. All of them lost approximately a similar amount of mass from before to after the burning, but the temperature changes really speak to how much energy was released by each of these foods. So we're going to continue on in the next part and do calculations for these and make some conclusions about which foods released the most energy.